Hey guys, Baruch here with Waywire at the Democratic National Convention, joined today by my good friends Congressman Barney Frank and Mr. Jim Reddy. Thanks for being here, guys.
Good to see you here.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to interview you. It's been an exciting time in your lives.
Very.
Well, I appreciate it. And I also, we're here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Baruch, I gotta be honest, I want to see how you would exist outside of New York City.
Well, I sense a little skepticism there. Were you betting against me, Congressman Frank?
No, I'm just wide open on the subject.
How about you, Jim? You're on my side,
I was
obviously.
out of that bet, yes.
You said smart decision. Well, seriously, either Congressman Frank and Jim, congratulations on your wedding. It made a lot of news. It was a really big moment, a historic moment for the United States. How was the experience the day of? I observed you from afar, but how was the experience?
Do we have enough time? It was overwhelming, but whelming too, I guess. You know, it was fantastic to see just everybody having such a great time. Like, people couldn't keep smiles off their faces, and they didn't want to leave at the end, and you know, it was really great.
What was the reaction of your colleagues
Well,
in the
that's
House?
what made it such a good thing. I mean, we were both kind of tense during the day because we were afraid of political protests and of the media being intrusive. The New York Times, in fact, behaved outrageously and made a promise to us, which they broke, about running the story way before anybody else. But our colleagues, my colleagues, overwhelmingly, I say our colleagues because Jim has been welcomed by the other congressional spouses in a very enthusiastic way, and the House members as well. In fact, one of the great things for this to me was 5 years ago, if we'd gotten married, and you know, we had just met back then, it would have been a big political event. At this time, it wasn't treated as a big political event. It was treated as a very happy marriage. And I think that's progress, that this is no longer some news in the sense of we moved to the entertainment pages, and that's where this belongs.
So you felt that this was really just a wedding like any other beautiful wedding?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just a celebration of love.
Yeah, and with our friends. And now there's no question that I think the enjoyment that people had was enhanced by knowing that this wouldn't have been possible even 10 years ago in Massachusetts. It wouldn't have been a legal thing to do. So people were pleased that we were putting one more piece of prejudice to rest, but not in a kind of militant way, in a happy way.
Now, Jim, did you feel in a way that many young people around the world were really looking at the two of you as examples?
I believe so. Yeah. It's kind of hard to think of myself as a role model, but even just today, a little while ago, a woman thanked me for being a good role model. So I was like, wow, did you hear that? You know? And she brought her sons over to meet us and say it was really great. It's because I didn't expect it. You know, it is still very, very new to me, all of this. And so, yeah.
What's important in that is Jim's younger, and you know, he's not been in public life. So I may be seen as a little remote from, you know, the average citizen because they've seen me in a kind of a political governmental role. But Jim, they see as a really good guy and someone I think that they say someone younger can more easily relate to in terms of his life.
And Congressman Frank, last night was a very important moment when Mayor Booker announced the change in the Democratic Party platform with regard to same-sex marriage. How important was that moment? How crucial was that in the fight for marriage?
Well, it was important. I want to give President Obama credit. It was a natural follow-up. The critical moment came when he personally announced, even before he was for same-sex marriage, that he was going to fight against the Defense of Marriage Act in court. That's extraordinary for a president to do, to take on a law on the grounds of it's being unconstitutional. It's legitimate, but it's rare. And then he followed that up, and then we had a vote in the House earlier this year when the Republicans reaffirmed DOMA, and 98% of the Republicans voted to reaffirm DOMA, and 91% of the Democrats voted against it. So the platform, in this case, it wasn't just an empty promise. It was a summary of what we've already been doing as Democrats.
You obviously have a big night tonight at the convention. Give us a little preview of what you hope to share with the audience.
Well, I'm going to be talking about my governor, my former governor, Governor Romney, and I've been a little struck by the disparity between what I remember from him as governor and what he promises to do as president. And he says
he's telling people he did as governor is just nonsense.
He was this business guy who transformed our economy as he would transform the American economy. And I finally realized there were kind of two Romneys here. There's Mitt Romney, who was the governor of Massachusetts, but then there's Myth Romney. Myth Romney is this superhero businessman who, if you ever put him in charge of a government, would make all these enormous changes. And I guess I'm going to tell people I really regret that we didn't have Mitt Romney as our governor. We had to settle for Mitt Romney. It wasn't all that much.
Congressman Frank, Jim Reddy, thank you.
You're welcome.